The Veterans Corner. I'm Ruben Treviso, host of the American GI Forum. Today we have Mr. Clark, not Superman Clark, Mr. Clark, and Greg Taylor as our guests from the Operation Healthy Homecoming. Greg, tell me about Operation Healthy Homecoming.
Well, Operation Healthy Homecoming is an SFVF working out of the city of Long Beach with the Long Beach Mental Health. We are one of 13 SFVFs that actually
What's that?
SFVF is a support organization that actually goes out, supports veterans in the field.
Okay, well, the letterings. SF, what's the mid-jig?
Now you're going to ask me that good question. I have no idea. I have no idea without it in front of me. But we are a support organization that actually goes out, and it's a nice acronym. You just caught me sidelined because I've never been asked that question. I just say SSBF and keep going.
You know, I'm a terrible speller. I don't know what letters mean, and I flunked out of the second grade.
I can't believe a guy that knows how to speak Russian flunked out the second grade. But I will tell you this. One of the things that I was proud to serve over the last 2 months was the outreach program that we had for the homeless count. And the reason why I'm here today is to give you a little bit of a blunt reality of what I saw out there. You know, there's a great need for people to focus on the reality of what's going on the street, just like it is when it comes to what's going on in politics. If you don't be about it, then you're going to be about it.
Can you say that again, Craig?
If you don't be about it, you're going to be about it, because we're just that close to being right there with the rest of the people on the street. And when you
Quite
think,
often it's only one paycheck away.
and one paycheck, but when you get emphasis of people just crying about potholes in the street and how badly they need to get them filled, but they forget about all the homeless people in the street, how in the heck can you be that indignant to think that a pothole overrides a human being? And when it comes to a veteran who served his country, gave his life for this country up to the point of shedding his blood without even walking away, there's very few people that understand how important it is to have veterans attached to them. Because
were you wounded?
I was wounded. Yes, I was. I was wounded in my back. I was wounded in my mind. I saw bloodshed. I saw enough firefighting to make you really crunch. But I'm not the one that really wants to tell that story. It's the ones that didn't come back that I worry about.
People want to know about you, Greg. People want to know about you.
They want to know about me. It's not a month.
Who did you serve with and where?
I served in the military with the United States Navy. And that's about the size.
That's all you can say.
That's about the size of that. You know, it's funny, Navy never says what your MOS is. We always go by rank and tell, but I was in the intelligence community. And what we did.
Were you a SEAL?
No, I wasn't. I wasn't a SEAL.
Were you one of the first SEAL teams?
Yeah, I worked with a lot of SEAL teams. Okay. I worked with Rangers. I worked with a lot of people who call themselves, you know, incognito heroes, because they didn't come back. A lot of them came back mentally disturbed. A lot of them came back and don't want to know that they're back. Okay. Mental illness is something that we don't talk about, something that people tend not to believe. But when my uncle came back from World War II, I always wondered, why did he drink so much? And then I found out he had PTSD, and nobody was diagnosing him then, and nobody cares about it now except for the veterans that are there. So I say it takes one to teach one. And when you're on that street and you're looking at people who are homeless, that could be a veteran, whether it's a female, whether it's a male, who served this country, whether they served it for 10 days, whether they served it for 20 years.
Greg, what's your experience with homelessness?
My experience is something that the reality of it is not common. It's not a disease. We're allowing it to happen.
Okay.
And I tell you this, let me share this with you. When people take the perception of homelessness to be for real, hey, then it's nothing to them. Then what are we looking at the next step? We're just, as like you said, we're just that close to being there. Mm-hmm. And the closer you look at the taxes that you're paying, the closer you look at your water bill going up, your electricity bill going up, your gas prices going up. And all of a sudden you turn right back around and you say, I can't afford it. Guess what happens? You move on to the street.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a case in point, Highland Park, Michigan, place I'm very familiar with. You go back there now, it's a ghost town. But back in in the 70s, that was a perennial city. All the bells and whistles. Everybody was trying to get into Highland Park. Now you can't find anybody in Highland Park.
There's a lot of cities in the country like that, aren't there, Greg?
A lot of places in the
Michigan,
country. Yes.
Ohio,
Yes.
Indiana,
Yes.
Iowa, Illinois.
Yes. But I will tell you this, as long as the heart is fighting, as long as the people are striving to be people, communities. There was a gentleman that said something very profound the other night. He says there's 3 parts to a community. But let's talk about the one part, the human part. And let's talk about what we can give back. Mr. Clark is sitting next to me. He belongs to an organization called TTT Wellness Program.
Mr. Clark, would you like to explain TTT Wellness Program?
Excuse me?
Would you like to explain it? What's TTT Homeless Program?
Well, we just used those letters in there because we did a,
Could you speak into the mic, please?
we just used the letters in there because we did a LLC. It's called the Talented 10.
What's LLC?
That's an a limited
Limited Liability Corporation?
liability company,
I
right?
ask a lot of questions.
Right.
Right.
Well, that's okay. But we did that to work with the nonprofit that we started.
Okay.
And there's 3 of us that's involved in that right now also.
Mm-hmm.
And Greg has been appointed. Tell him.
I'm the president of the organization.
Oh, you're president?
I'm president of the organization.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I thought personally that he would fit that best because the Wellness Center is TTT Veterans Wellness Center.
Okay.
And what we're doing, we're focusing in on alternative medicine and stuff like that, working with our company.
Okay.
And we're bringing all the new technology to the table with the Wellness Center. And we're focusing in on veterans. That's why he's the president.
What new medicines or technologies are you bringing in?
Excuse me?
What new technologies or medicines are you bringing in?
Well, one of the new technologies we're doing, it's called the Beamer.
Uh-huh.
It's out of West Europe, out of Germany. They invented it in Germany, and this particular technology, it helps your body, your blood to flow, help your heart get your blood going into the little small capillaries of your body.
Mm-hmm.
It helps to expand your blood vessels and the capillaries, the microcapillaries that's in your body that depends on the gravity here on Earth. And it works so good that NASA last year in March adapted it into the space program.
Okay.
And we're adapting it into the TTT Wellness Center. So we're looking at setting up different centers with this technology in it. And with this technology, we'll be able to beam up people. We call it beam up, like Scotty.
Yes, Scotty.
Right, like on Star Trek. So we said beamer. So we say we beam people up. We help them to get their blood going through their body, and the blood is carrying the oxygen, and it is supplying blood through the whole body. And it is healing people that have different type of psoriasis, diabetes.
You can take care of diabetes too?
Yes, we have people that have testimonies and stuff on that.
Uh-huh.
And I will get
Are
some.
you approved by the Federal Drug Administration, FDA?
Yes, it is. It's approved.
It is?
Yeah.
Oh, very good.
But it's only
That's
the
your
first
point.
level. They have to go after the Series 2.
Okay.
So we're going to be bringing that on, and we have other people that's dietitians. They teach people how to cook properly, eat the right foods, the raw foods, raw vegetables and stuff like that. And there are going to be classes teaching that. We have one of the top people in dietitian and holistic, and I don't know if I can say her name on air.
Go ahead.
Haley Pomeroy.
Okay.
She is a national known person all over the country. And matter of fact, she's supposed to have been working on doing a cooking show also.
Okay.
And I believe in her, and she uses the same technology that the Beamer is. And then I have another doctor, holistic doctor out in Glendale, and he's got his PhD in what he does.
What does he do?
He do the same thing with the Beamer, health.
Capillary, oxygen, promotion
Right, he
within
show
the
you how to
system?
do that with non-traditional medicine. So that's what I want to get away from, is the non-traditional medicine, because I had an experience about a year ago that I had to have a stent placed in my heart. And there's another company out that sort of do the same thing, but they're saying that that is not the updated technology like what we have, but it does the same thing, and that's the cardio care. They have two places for that here.
Where?
One is in Inglewood, California,
Where
and
in
the other one
Inglewood?
is in Long Beach. And they're called cardio care. And the way they work a lot different from what we're looking at doing.
Accustomed to.
Right. They have to be fitted. You have to be fitted with an outfit, strapped down and pressurized. And it's sort of like the pilots.
It's like a decompression chamber.
Well, no, it's not like a decompression. It's like when a pilot is pulling G's.
Right.
It squeezes you on your lower extremity and forces the blood back up, so you won't pass out when you're pulling a 9G turn in a F-15 or something.
Okay.
So that's what we're looking at. All of this. We're looking
A
at
friend of
that.
mine used to fly a Bronco reconnaissance plane over Laos and Cambodia and Vietnam.
But they didn't pull on 9G. You didn't have to wear that.
The way he drove, yeah. I was supposed to go up with him over Laos once, but he got shot down.
Let me say a few more things on the wellness center. It's not just for
How do you qualify for it? And who can qualify for it?
anyone can qualify for it as long as they have a need. But if you're a veteran, you're a step ahead, because it's called the Veteran Wellness Center. Okay, and what we're looking at is something that a doctor friend of ours, who I found his heart outweighed all the reality that he was going against. He wanted to give back. He never served the service, but his brothers did, and he wanted to help veterans. And he was so giving and so real about it. I said, well, hey, why can't we get more doctors to be more giving to veterans instead of taking from veterans their money? Give to the veterans who gave them the opportunity to have the experience, to make the money, to have the lifestyle. You know, there's a lot of people out there hurting right now.
How do people get a hold of you, Greg?
They can actually reach me at my number,
What's your
which
number?
is
Let me hold it up for you.
Yeah, it's 562-285-1330.
Do you have an email address, or do you have a website?
It's website. You can reach me at my email, which is gtaylor@mhala.org. gtaylor@mhala.org. And
how do you get a hold of Mr. Greg?
Mr. Clark,
Mr. Clark.
you can reach him straight through me.
Okay.
And at the same time, I would also like to say that not only do we have the Beamer, we're researching right now with stem cell technology that's out there that's available for people.
Now you have my interest.
You know, the idea of the haves and the have-nots should be simply we should have. And all that have-not is nonsense.
There's a whole building behind USC County General.
Yes.
A massive building.
Yes.
And all they do is stem cell research.
Well, I'll tell you another thing that's a very well-kept secret, but if you go down Western Avenue to 120th, there's a college called Southwest College.
Right.
And right there you'll see it saying STEM technicians, STEM cells. And
They're
I'm
training
saying,
them?
yeah, they're training them and you don't even know it. Why this is important is because it extends your life. It generates, but you don't hear about these things unless you put your ear to the payment. The problem with most people is they take their life so comfortably, they don't think about it until they start getting those aches and pains. And then you go to the doctor and the doctor says, look, take these pills. These pills will cure you or they will sustain you. There's a doctor, a very good friend of mine. His name is Dr. Joe Wallach. Remember that name. You can look him up.
Is that longevity?
That's longevity.
Talk to me about longevity,
I can
Greg.
tell you a little bit about longevity. One of the things I know about Dr. Wallach is his passion to help people. And he started out as a veterinarian. He didn't start out as a doctor, okay? He has a passion to help people. And I'm not in for the money side of it. There's always a money side to all these companies.
It's medicine.
But the reality is, if you are what you eat, remember what you're eating can hurt you or it can help you. And I've learned a long time ago, I didn't have to go to Dr. Wallach. I went to a little old lady, and all she used to do is make tortillas in the morning. And she said, Greg, stay away from the flour, because the flour cakes up, but the corn will make you go and go and go. So I always said, hey, I don't want to eat the flour tortilla. Give me that corn tortilla. I got to have my beans, because I'm from the barrio, but I got to make sure I eat right.
Greg and I went to the same high school together.
Yes, we did. We shared a lot of good times together.
Played football together.
We lost a lot of good friends in the war. But one thing I will say, there's a war going on right now, and that war is education. It's not about who you know, it's what you know. If people pay more attention to how their body is feeling them, nobody knows your body better than you. And if you think you got aches and pains, back in the old days, what do? They go to the backyard, pull something up, and you were well.
Pull a weed.
You get an earache, they blow smoke in your ear, and you can hear. Your teeth feel bad, you go and you get that little Epsom salt, or what was it, the hydrogen peroxide, and you didn't have to worry about going to the dentist. But now, because of all the stuff that we've been taking, you got to go to the doctor, you got to go to the dentist, and pretty soon you got to go see the guy for, Green Valley there just to try to figure out how you can get yourself buried. And we're not talking about burying, we're talking about living. People are living longer, and how your wealth grows is how you grow.
Wasn't there a woman recently that was 115 years old, and then the woman that danced with President Obama was 108 years old?
Oh, yeah. And the thing about it is, this isn't uncommon in certain cultures. Only in our culture do we decide that we don't want to hear. I think you said it best. Oh, no. You didn't say it best. A good friend of ours said it best. He says, a lot of the people who live in the Southern California area, they're oxters. They got their head in the ground. Jesse would say these things. I said, why are you saying it? They don't want to see. They don't want to hear. They just want everybody to give them something. And when they lose everything, then they wake up. Well, it's time to wake up now. It's time to give back to the veterans who absolutely have given their time, their life, and some of them are still giving for our freedom. If people don't know what freedom is, go to a country that doesn't have freedom. Then you'll know what we're talking about.
70% of all the veterans that served in Vietnam are dead. 70%. 3.5 million served in Vietnam, so 70% of them are dead. There's only 30% of us left.
That's a very strong statistic.
And every day, 22 veterans commit suicide.
Yeah. And that's another reason why I'm so passionate about what I do. Working with Operation Healthy Homecoming has taught me one thing. You can't give enough. And there's nothing they can pay me that will stop me from helping another vet. There's a lot of veterans out there with their own stories. My story doesn't matter because I can walk, I can talk. I got a story. Ruben's got a story. But we're a very small percentage of veterans that can't even tell their story. And if you hear the stories that are on the street, if you see the people that are on the street and they happen to be a veteran, and a veteran comes in many cultures. many dialects. You don't have to understand what he's saying to understand he fought a war. I've met veterans that couldn't speak English, served this country, and they're still fighting just for the right to be recognized that they fought in the war.
He's talking about the Cambodian freedom fighters.
I'm talking about the Cambodian freedom fighters. I'm talking about the Filipino freedom fighters. Can you imagine if they are called a freedom fighter and they don't have the respect of being said they served alongside of us?
Many of our allied friends are seeking congressional approval to be recognized as having served with the American forces.
Yeah.
So, in fact, Greg met one of their leading
Yes, I
national
did.
leaders,
Yes, I
a
did.
colonel out of Philadelphia recently.
Unbelievable, unbelievable gentleman. And you can't imagine the passion this man has for just being alive. I can't believe he came back with that passion. What hell he went through. And he worked with us, alongside of us, and the secrets that he did not involve anybody with. He kept those secrets within him. He lost a leg. He was bodily tortured.
He was put in a tiger cage for 5 years by the North Vietnamese.
And the stories that he has lived through, unbelievable truth, unbelievable reality for our freedom. And you know, these stories, there's many of them. There's many, many, many tales about a lot of things like this. Don't take your freedom lightly. When you see somebody that served this country, whether it's a man, whether it's a female, they served this country for your freedom. And when they put that uniform on, just like these police officers, I'm not mad at them. They go towards the fire while we're sitting there saying, wow, there's a fire. They put themselves on the line 100% of the time. Every veteran that's over there right now, you don't even know what's going on. If you did, you would pay more attention to your freedom. Because right now there's kids out there, kids like we used to be, standing in front while we're sitting back and saying, go ahead, man, make it happen, man, if you're paying attention. But there's a lot of us that don't even know what's going on over there.
The Marines were recently deployed into Syria.
Recently, Korea, I believe it was Korea, shot a missile straight up.
Right.
And now they're talking about sending more troops over there. People don't know. This is real. This is how we got involved with certain skirmishes that became war. You know, Vietnam was no joke.
You're right about
Neither was Korea. And if you heard the tales of Korea, if you knew how many veterans were left behind, I am still appalled at that. I am very appalled at the fact that this government never stood up and said how many veterans they left behind in Korea.
Some of the Americans in Korea were captured and held captive in North Korea, and they acclimated to the North Korean society, and they still live there.
Yeah.
In Vietnam, some Americans that were deployed on the DMZ became so ingrained and acculturated and embedded that they live in North Vietnam. And basically now they're North Vietnamese citizens.
Yeah. It's sad.
In fact, some of the people that we left behind, their names are on the Vietnam Veterans War Memorial, even though they're still alive.
So I call them the walking dead, but they're not forgotten. And one more tale I'll tell you before we have to cut here.
Cut?
Don't ever think that the flag that we have, that we raise above us, means so little. That flag people have died for, have fought over for many, many years. And if you see some Yoko thinking about burning it, well, guess what? That's his right, because this is America. And that is why we are the greatest country, I truly believe, in the world.
There's something about company or regional flag for a division that they uphold the American flag, but they also uphold their unit flag.
That's right.
And if someone shot down and dies with the flag, someone else will pick up that same flag and charge with it.
That's right.
It's a tradition. And if your company or division flag is captured, then you are forced to wear your divisional emblem upside down until that division or company can regain their recognition and heroism on the battlefield.
Yes.
The military is embedded with, has a lot of customs and traditions, and losing your flag is very, very sacred. So if you ever see a military uniform with the emblem upside down, it's because they have lost their flag during the battle.
And the only emblem you don't want to see is
It's the
that
American flag.
black dagger heading down.
Oh, tell me about the black dagger, Greg.
No.
Tell me
We
about the
won't
black
go into
dagger.
detail. We won't go into detail. But I will tell you this. There's a lot of stories that we can talk about. There's a lot of heritage that we can talk about. But just remember,
And how do people get a hold of you?
they can call me,
And your phone number is
714-400-7819 or 562-285-1330.
and your email?
gtaylor@mhala.org.
Once again, your phone number?
714-400-7819 or 562-285-1330.
And if they want to get hold of Mr. Clark,
They can get a hold of them through me.
and your number once again is?
714-400-7819 or 562-285-1330.
Thank you very much, Greg and Mr. Clark.
Thank you for having us, Ruben.
And I'm Ruben Treviso of the Veterans Corner. Thank you.
Hello, Boyle Heights. We're back again. This is Arturo Esparza from Eastside Primetime Television Network to bring some valuable information your way. And right next to me is the outrageously wonderful Michelle Torres. Say hi, Michelle.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Art.
Oh, nice to see you. Michelle, what you got for us today?
Well, we're here to talk about an event that's coming up, and we want to make sure that everybody saves this date, April 22nd at Santa Anita Racetrack. We'll be raising money for the Hollenbeck Youth Center here. It's a great event. We'll have your good buddy.
Yeah, we have Steve
Steven
Salas from Tierra.
Yes, woohoo! And we'll also have David the Horse Sandoval. So a lot of people are going to enjoy this event.
And good old friend, by the way, Mr. Rudy Moreno, the comedian.
Of course.
From HBO comedy.
Oh, yeah, he's the best.
He is.
Love him. So we have tickets on sale. There's no limit in purchasing. We want to make sure you bring your friends, family, come out for the day, enjoy the sunshine. It's $35 a ticket. 15 and under are free. Can't beat that. And the ticket includes entrance, parking. We also get a race program book and 1 meal ticket. What are you going to eat?
What am I going to eat? Carne asada. Everybody knows that. That's my weakness.
That's your weakness?
Yes, it is.
Well, you know what? I can't decide if I want a hamburger or a hot dog. So I'm going to have to bring a friend that doesn't eat so I could have their ticket.
Okay, Diego. Diego doesn't like to eat.
Yeah, he doesn't need to eat. So in order, we're going to announce this again because we want to make sure we reach everybody. But the tickets can be purchased by calling 323-881-6562. You can ask for Jose or Priscilla and let them know. Let them know that you're interested and how you could spread the word and get some people from your work, the schools. There's a lot of great areas that this can be spread out. So we want to make sure that you all come and tell a friend.
And the proceeds will be going to the Hollenbeck Youth Center to help the community here in beautiful Boyle Heights, California.
Yes, the best.
So you want to help the kids. That's our future. And we always support them. So what was the number once again?
The number, 323-881-6562. Priscilla or Jose.
Alrighty. So this is Arturo Esparza
and Michelle Torres.
Eastside Primetime. We'll be back at you later on.
All right. Bye, everybody.